Brought to you by Pentz Homes and part of the Hitting the Hardwood podcast network. This is Lynx Happy Hour. All right, let's see what kind of shelf life this episode has. What's up, Lynx fans? This is Terry Horseman here with a solo shot episode of Lynx Happy Hour coming to you on a rainy day in Minneapolis. It is just after 4 o'clock in the afternoon Central Time as I'm sitting down to record. So good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whenever you happen to be listening to this. I've been sitting around following all of the transactions today and was waiting for the right time to record this week's episode. Didn't want to kick it to another day. Wait until tomorrow, that is. So clock turned over to 4. It's like, all right, we just got to go. I understand the Lynx have their schedule, but we also have ours. So I am going to talk at length about the news or a lack thereof on the Lynx front, and just to touch on the pulse of free agency. Lynx fans are understandably antsy, I think. Anxiously. Can I make up a word that only applies to what Lynx fans are feeling right now? And I don't blame them. We're seeing, it really is a free agent frenzy. We're seeing moves go off across the league. A lot of money being spent. And I don't know how many times I've seen the stick figure with the stick poking, saying do something so far in this cycle. But it's probably in the triple digits at this point. And that's just on Blue Sky. So, what I will do is kind of assess here what the news so far today means to the Lynx, what I'm interpreting, what I'm hearing. I'm not hearing anything juicy. So sorry to disappoint you guys if you came here thinking that I'd have some hot goss to drop on you. But I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. You look across the league and there aren't many leaks coming out of certain free agencies, and that's normally the ones that are constantly contending organizations. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I understand that we've seen 4 fan favorites leave in these last number of days, with Bridget Carleton going to the Portland Fire, the news just dropped minutes ago that Bridget Carleton officially a max player in the WNBA in 2026. Congrats, BC. That is awesome for her. Don't think you can be upset with any GM who passes on handing out that kind of money. So there's some context there for that. BC getting the max in Portland. Happy for you. Overjoyed for you. And, if you've listened to me rant about stuff before, you know how I feel about the city of Portland. I love the place. So great for BC. Masha to Toronto. Natisha Heidemann to Seattle. Jessica Shepard to Dallas. You're only seeing players you love leave the team you love. And that is an excruciating, 48-hour period to go through. But there's still a lot of players we haven't heard anything on, both on the Lynx and throughout the rest of the league. It does kind of feel like everyone has signed, but that is far from the case. Let's just look at the Lynx roster alone as we stand here at 4:08 p.m. Central Time. We haven't heard anything about Courtney Williams. We haven't heard anything about Kayla McBride. We know that the core offer was extended to Nafisa Collier. We don't know. I imagine Supermax negotiations are taking place as we speak. We don't really know anything about Alana Smith. We know the comments that came out and how everyone reacted to them. The teams that I can confirm from talking to people around the league and other media members and stuff as well, where the Liberty and the Valks were for sure both in on Alana Smith. There's almost no way in hell the Liberty are right now after signing Satu Sabally. I don't know that anyone outside of Sabrina Ionescu, Brianna Stewart, Jonquel Jones, Satu Sabali, and Maureen Johannes can make anything above the minimum. Like, is that going to be New York's strategy? It could be a good one. And someone mentioned compared Cheryl to like a fantasy football, fantasy sports auction draft where you kind of just stay patient. And after everyone's spent, all their money, it's like, oh, look at this player that I can get for $1 because no one else can spend any money at this point. There are going to be some deals like that. We don't know what they are right now, but that New York's going to have to go bargain hunting to flesh out the rest of its roster. And I can't see Lan accepting a steep discount to go there. So let's just say the Liberty are out on Alana Smith. I get how people interpreted her comments as her being 100% out. They weren't encouraging for a return for her. I'll happily admit that. And I still think those are the words of someone who at least had like mentally moved on. But it also could have just been posturing. It also could have been, it was like the fourth question in a line of questioning with Lan not wanting to talk about free agency and, just let something slip. We don't know. And let me just kind of refresh some group chats here. It doesn't look like Lan has signed anywhere in the last 10 minutes or so. Lan back is still in play. I'm not super confident about it. Some of my fellow writers on the beat are more confident in that return. I think I'm probably around 40-60, but the longer it goes without hearing anything, the more possibility I think that there could be a return to Lan in Minnesota if there's interest on both sides. We haven't really heard anything about Dejanay Carrington. I've heard just kind of rumblings that Dejanay it was more likely that Dejanay moves on than comes back, but that's also because I think it would be easy to imagine one team offering, an amount that would blow her camp away. And the Lynx also have other people to pay. But the longer this goes, without hearing much more about her market, and maybe it's all happening behind closed doors, I'll happily admit right now, I don't know anything about her market right now. That's the other thing. We don't know anything about market value in this CBA, in this new era. So we're all kind of just grasping at straws to understand this a little bit and the money that's going out. Things that look like awful contracts right now could turn out to be great contracts in 2 years and vice versa. So the lack of hearing anything about Dejanay makes me think, at least, that a return to Minnesota for her is very much in play. So if Cheryl just snaps her fingers and all of those players are suddenly back, add in the number 2 overall pick on Monday, you can't be that mad, Lynx fans. Good teams lose players all the time, and that is pretty good retention in a year with such a significant cap spike, salary cap, and a year with 2 expansion teams. And not just 2 expansion teams, like a league of 13 teams going from 13 to 15. It's not the same as like the last, NFL expansion or something. It was always one team at a time for a team already with 30 teams, 31 teams. I believe in 1994, there was the Carolina Panthers and Jacksonville Jaguars joining a league of 28 teams, pushing it to 30. So we haven't seen in a sport with much bigger rosters. So this is kind of crazy when you do, think about it in those terms. The 4 players that we know the Lynx are losing now, man, they were a blast to cover. Really uber talented. Played their roles marvelously. But at the end of the day, it's kind of the cost of doing business. And we had kind of thought about that after Natisha Heinemann's first year with the Lynx. Cheryl, mentioned after that free agency press conference, kind of tongue-in-cheek mentioned that T was playing a little hard to get. That was also the first time that T was a free agent in her career, so it makes sense to take all the meetings, go out there, and just see what you're hearing. And there could have been a meeting with, Seattle at that point, and that paved the way for her getting money from the Storm that she's not going to get from the Lynx. And that's just part of it. So I can understand the anxiety. I even understand the freak out, because people aren't doing that, because that's just what you do here. Sorry, I just got a notification on Blue Sky from shout out Susan Scuff. That late night podcast was hilarious. Thank you for listening. Yes, Susan, we did a Midnight Madness thing over on Andrew's pod, The Missing Links. I was on the later end of it, from about 12:45 a.m. to 1:15 a.m. So go listen to that if you haven't yet. You can see it on YouTube as well. Veronica Burton re-signed with the Golden State Valkyries on a 3-year deal, protected for $925,000, $971,000 to $50,000, and over $1,017,500 in year 3. So big guaranteed money for last year's MIP. That's from Richard Cohen. So that's the Valkyries making, shoring up their priority in restricted free agency. And I mentioned that because I saw the Velks pop up. Right now, we're kind of on Gabby Williams' watch. We've been here before, Lynx fans. Of course, Gabby Williams' history with Fee makes her a great... she'd make a lot of sense, and is kind of what the Lynx need in losing a quality wing like BC. I think Gabby Williams is one of the best players in the league. This would be an absolute coup for a team. I think that honestly solves everything. There's still what to do with a big in case Lan isn't coming back or moves on. Like I said, I think the Velks are in on Lan too, so it's kind of there was 2 games in that playoff series, game 1, game 2, between the Lynx and the Velks. Really thrilling game 2 in Valhalla that the Lynx took at the last minute. Or last second, actually. Really, really thrilling game. That was an incredible atmosphere. And shout out Velks fans, as always. This feels like game 3. Gabby, they say Gabby's between the Lynx, the Velks, and the Aces. I can't imagine her going to Las Vegas. They retained their entire core. And Bell. And I want to pay Melissa Smith. If Gabby Williams takes a discount to go to the Las Vegas Aces, that wouldn't quite be like the Kevin Durant trade, but that would be this, like, come on. What are we even doing? What was the point of all of this? So I'm going to cross off the Aces here. I'm going to do that in pen. I'll do it right now so you can hear me. That was me crossing the Aces off. My little handwritten notes here because I'm old school. If the Lynx sign Gabby Williams and bring back most of, if not all of, the remaining core, you're right back there. You're top of the league. You're a top 3 contender no matter what. And you're not going to get the same press or coverage or ESPN airtime as the Liberty or the Aces. But you knew that. You knew that was going to happen. You can still be mad about it. Not saying anyone can't feel a certain way. But you're a top 3 team in the WNBA with that amount of talent. I think I was thinking about this right before I press record. I think kind of the scale I'm looking at this right now is, I think the Lynx you can't really boil anything down to just one transaction or even 2 of them. I would love it. Love it. If the Lynx were able to sign Gabby and retain Dejanay. That's a little bit of a fantasy basketball thing, but obviously it's possible, right? So they could do that. You would have to do, some coaching whatever. I don't know how ready Dijonay will be right at the start of the season. We obviously know the Lynx will have to navigate the opening weeks and maybe even more than a month of the season without Fee. Would Dijonay come back if she's not guaranteed a starting spot? Maybe not. I don't know how many teams across the league are guaranteeing that, given the injury and how that affects her market in this new world free agent frenzy. So obviously it'd be amazing if you could go 2 for 2 on getting Gabby Williams and Dijonay Carrington. I don't think they can go 0 for 2. I would start to worry about the depth of the wing at that point. If Gabby goes to Golden State and Dijonay goes elsewhere, again, I haven't heard any whispers on where that might be. I think you got to get one of them. And that would be a kind of a good barometer of where the Lynx stand in this free agency. So we'll keep our eyes glued to this. And, if Gabby signs somewhere in the next 10 minutes, it would really mess up this episode. But I'd be able to adjust. So we'll see. Some news here. Alexa Philippou can confirm that free agent guard Ty Harris is signing with the Indiana Fever following stints in Dallas and Connecticut. The Indianapolis Star had it first. So Ty Harris, that is another name off the remaining free agents list. I have a notebook page handwritten of players left available in free agency and who is still on the board. Just a fun way to keep track. There's still a lot, but it's been we see it dwindling slowly. Probably about an hour or so ago, Carly Samuelson, former Lynx, signing with the Portland Fire. Carly and BC reunited in Portland. I was interested in a reunion with the Lynx for Carly. I know how high the organization is on her, and obviously battling back from a severe injury. And yeah, you don't know what the market is going to be for players in that situation, if you can get a good deal, team-friendly deal or not. But Carly off to the expansion Fire. Wishing her the best of luck. Carly's an awesome person, and if she can get back to her pre-injury level, that'd be great for her and great for the fans of Portland. Let's talk a little bit about the New York Liberty. Obviously, you have to start with Emma Meesman, who came close to signing with the Lynx last year, and Cheryl had the great comment. She made the wrong choice immediately afterwards. I was in the middle of the Lynx and the Liberty playing each other like 1,000 times in a 2-week span because WNBA scheduling. So Emma in play. That helps you. Someone who can play with Fee, and someone who helps in the matter of getting quality minutes while Fee is not on the court, and spelling that time while she's out due to injury. So Emma Meesman, can't imagine she's going back to New York. They don't have the money. You cannot take a discount, Emma Meesman. I think last year it turned out to just be about money, and I haven't been told anything to make me think otherwise. So if it's just about the money, Emma Meesman's playing somewhere other than the New York Liberty in 2026. Just saw this one too. Chicago Sky signed Minnesota legend Rachel Banham. I'd heard some, I don't know if it was a smoke, whatever, but kind of an idea of Rachel coming back to provide depth. No more Banham on there. She goes back to Chicago. A roster that looks better, honestly, than I even want to give them credit for. I still don't understand the future first for J.C. Sheldon, and I love J.C. Sheldon. They're going to win more games than people expect them to. But so they're former Lynx. Go for legend. The pride of Minnesota, Rachel Banham, off the free agent market. But yeah, I think Emma is someone the Lynx could and should be prioritizing in this. Like, I can't imagine she ends up back in New York. I can't imagine Natasha Cloud ends up back in New York. I don't know that you'd see Tosh and Court on the same team just because of redundancy. But Natasha Cloud still out there. But Nigel Laney Hamilton still out there. She was brilliant, or has been brilliant against the Lynx in the past. And so you got to be excited if you're a Liberty fan, but there is talent that they will not be able to bring back. That, adds to the market and can be, contributing players on a championship team. So, like, as the Liberty proved. So, really interested in Betnaja. Obviously super interested in Emma. You look at Phoenix. Phoenix is interesting, losing Satu. Pretty much the only piece of news is that AT is returning. Haven't seen anything that sheds light on Kalia Copper's status. You would imagine DB's returning in that scenario. Sammy Whitcomb, who hit a dagger shot in the playoffs against the Lynx. I'd be interested in Sammy Whitcomb. Sharp shooting Aussie. And Monica Coel-Makani. I think she's probably most likely staying in Phoenix. Restricted free agent as well. So, but she played so well last year. Really promising rookie season for Coel-Makani. And there's got to be a lot of interest for her across the league. But Phoenix, league runner-up, they're in a spot of their fans being like, please do something. Come on. I'm a big fan of what the Atlanta Dream have done. They're doing what Lynx fans want the Lynx to be doing. They've finalized everything with their core, made a big trade. Looks like they're going to be pretty damn good. Kept their fan favorites around. Ryan Howard, Alicia Gray, Naz Hillman, Jordan Canada. All of them getting paid. To stay in the ATL. So they're having a fun free agency. Shout out Dream fans. Enjoy it. What happens over the next few days will be pretty important to what the Lynx are considering in the draft. Sorry for all the clickety clacks, but refreshing all of this stuff and trying to keep you guys as apprised as possible. Maybe I'll just hit pause and then just watch my timeline update to see what's happening. But anyway, what happens, over the next couple days will obviously inform Monday night, but also maybe the Lynx are deadlocked on who they want, and they might know a little bit more about who Dallas is taking. Now I went from the Wings are for sure taking Pham to the Wings are for sure not, to now they could take anybody. So they've also done well in Dallas. I don't know who the best fit for that team is. My guess would still be Pham, but they could go any direction, and I'm sure the Lynx are prepared for that and have a BPA based on whoever the Wings could take at number one. I don't know how interested Lynx fans are in a trade down, because it's always just exciting to have the number 2 pick, but hey, if you have a point guard who you got your eye on, that's not Olivia Miles, why don't you pick up that phone and give the Chicago Sky a call? See if, hey, you got any more of those future firsts? You keep giving them to Washington. Can we have a few of them? That's why the Lynx are in this position in the first place. So that would be a move I'd be very interested. I do think the Lynx think very highly of UCLA point guard Kiki Rice. That would require Chicago having their eyes on someone at 2 that they need to come up and get, and that they believe that they can't get. So who knows? But I am sure that those calls have been made or will continue to be made. Another one here from Richard Cohen is that source confirms unrestricted free agent Natisha Heidemann signed with the Seattle Storm for 2 years protected, $750,000 in year 1, $775,000 in year 2, significant guaranteed money, and a likely starting role for one of the stud buds. Signing first reported by Christina Williams. Shout out Christina. Yeah, that's a lot of money. Even in this new world, obviously the players should be making even more than this, but that's we're looking at cap percentage of the cap. How much percent can you give to a player that you're bringing off the bench? And when you're looking at what's taking place in Seattle right now, that is a starting player on the Storm with a bang. She's played both guard spots. She can play one, play the two, wherever. So that's some minutes that the Lynx don't have to offer for players. So that one's just, as much as I love T, probably my favorite person to talk to. The competition for that's crazy because everyone's in this organization has been so amazing to us in the media. But yeah, I love talking to T. But that's you can't offer capital that you don't have, and it's not just salary. It's minutes, it's flexibility, it's all kinds of things, and so that one is just easier to take from my view. So yeah, I was really hoping we'd have some crazy news taking place here. Skylar not getting the max is funny to me. From Snap Wilson, Bridget Carlton making more money than Skylar Diggins is the world we live in now. Just accept it. Oh man, free agent frenzy indeed. I am going to end this here and upload it. Just to give you guys something to do while you're refreshing those news feeds, tapping into Lynx Discord, and also reaching out to me, being like, "Why aren't they doing anything, Terry?" I don't know. I appreciate the passion. It's always nice to hear from you, but I don't know. I wish I could tell you more. It's gonna work out though. To some degree, it's gonna work out. I can guarantee that. We'll see what the shape of this roster ends up looking like as wow, that is some thunder. We'll see if my mic picked that up. But yeah, it is a dark and stormy night. What does that mean in terms of Lynx free agency? Is something more going to happen with the Seattle Storm? Who knows? But yeah, the rain is falling, the thunder is booming here in Minneapolis. Is Mother Nature trying to tell us something about the Lynx team to come, the soon-to-be WNBA champions, Minnesota Lynx? We'll see. I will respond accordingly if it does and if it happens today. But yeah, as it stands, still a slow news day on a very, very fast news day for others. But there's lots of talent out there that still hasn't committed to WNBA teams in 2026. So with the snap of her fingers, She'll even the Lynx could be right back there. So think good thoughts, be excellent to each other, try to remain calm and stay productive. Tune into the Masters. It would be great. I know some of you probably were able to kill some time with another great Minnesota Frost game today. I know that's over now. And hey, the Twins just won, so that's fun. Throw a movie on, do something productive with your time, or just keep hitting refresh. I'm not going to tell you how to live. Just live excellently, live passionately, and we'll be here covering the rest of free agency. Shout out to the rest of the Hitting the Hardwood network. Shout out to Pentz Homes. My name, once again, Terry Horstman, at terry.horstman at bsky.social, at Terrence Horstman on Instagram. You can find my written work at the 9 Sports and the 9 Basketball. That's the THEIX sports.com. And at Hitting the Hardwood, at hittingthehardwood.com. And of course, always here on Lynx Happy Hour. Sorry I didn't have more insight for you. I'm just here blabbing for over 30 minutes, but that's what most podcasts are anyway. Let's be real. So thank you once again for listening. I will update this if we do get any confirmed substantive reporting about any moves being made. I'll either just update this episode or make a whole new episode. Maybe like Andrew will probably be going live. I might just hop on Andrew's episode. Mitchell might be doing something. Someone's always doing something. I'll be somewhere on the internet talking about it. You can guarantee that. So yeah, follow me wherever. And be sure to follow the 9 Sports and check out all of the work my colleagues in every market are doing. Keep eyes on the competition, as always. Thank you once again, Lynx fans, for tuning in. I will be back with much more content throughout the week. And also, I'm going to be at the draft party. I maybe should have led with that or mentioned it earlier. So if you're going to the draft party, let me know. We might be shooting some fun fan videos about just like, hey, who should the Lynx pick? What should they do? We'll try to keep it clean and family friendly, especially if you are still upset about the moves the Lynx have or have not made. But yeah, if you see me at the draft party, come say what's up. I'll be wearing shout out to Howard Megdal, who hooked us all up with brand new company quarter zips. I think it's the first quarter zip I've ever owned. But I'll be wearing my 9 Sports quarter zip. My photographer, the brilliant John McClellan, will be with me getting B-roll and everything. Some of you for sure have met John before. Don't hesitate to say hi. Would love to chat with as many of you as I can. I know some other media will be there as well. Just killing the time until we get to talk to Cheryl. That'll be the first time we've gotten to talk to her since November, I believe. So we'll obviously be talking about the draft, but we'll have lots and lots to catch up on. So yeah, we'll have that for you on Monday night, and I'm excited to get back to Target Center for a great event and to chat with you all, and hopefully it's a great night. So enjoy the rest of the weekend, Lynx fans. Stay patient, stay calm, stay ready so you don't gotta get ready. Have a great weekend, everybody. Peace. This episode of Lynx Happy Hour is brought to you by Pentz Homes. The team at Pentz Homes has experience working with first-time home buyers, folks selling their first home and buying their next place, to people looking to downsize. With the best tools, technology, and trusted vendors to help with any home project, Pentz Homes is a top choice for buyers and sellers. For more info and to set up a time to meet with Nate and the team to talk about your home buying or selling needs, visit pentzhomes.com. That is Pentz, PENTZHOMES.com.